everybody, I'm Eric. I'm animating faces that you can talk to. I'm animating faces that you can talk to. Or I'm making you talk to faces that are animated. I have to kind of figure out the exact collection of words that describes what I'm doing succinctly. But for now, let's demo progress made yesterday on a glorious Sunday. Okay. So on Saturday, I had finished dragging the parts around, dragging the mouth, dragging the eyes. And I realized I needed to have that hooked up to the revisions that undo and redo use. And I did that yesterday, so I can do undo. That was tricky. That actually, I thought it was going to take me like a half hour or so to get that working. And it actually took me close to 3 hours, maybe closer to 4. Yeah, because what I needed to do was take this information about all the coordinates that are present for where these part components are at, and store that in a way that it would be serving both the purpose of the undos and also for eventually putting that information inside of a file that can be exported with this button right here. So right now these buttons don't do anything, but it won't be long before I can do an import and I can bring in a face definition. I can do an export and export a face definition. So I kind of worked ahead a little bit, even though all I have to show for it is that I can undo and redo the positions of face components, parts. That's what I'm calling them. The other thing I did is add these little red boxes that are the resizing buttons. Now, I didn't actually hook them up so that they could resize, but I made a quick little hack button that would just test out, can I actually resize this? I'm going to click this have mouth button up here. And then what it did is it just took the width of the mouth component and divided it by 2. If I could have it again. It's not a very useful button. It's just a little hack. Just threw it in just to make sure that something worked before I went to all the trouble to get these little pink boxes here to actually resize the mouth, which is going to be non-trivial. So then I went a little bit further, and I've got some code that I've got commented out now, and maybe I'll just put it back in place so you can sort of see what I'm eventually trying to get to. I don't think it's good code. I'll come back to that in a second. Let's take that out. So that code said make these little pink boxes draggable too. And I can drag them. That works. It contributed to another bug though. So as soon as I put those and made them draggable, when I would select something besides the head, it would do this double draw thing, which is just kind of not what I want ever. That's okay, because it made me think further. This is kind of getting hard to figure out all the interactions with dragging. It's getting hard for me to understand that. And so early in the project, I shouldn't be having difficulty understanding how to change code that I just wrote, 2 weeks ago. And I realized that there was a better architecture for this code, a better way to set up these draggable pieces. So I have these things called canvas components. The head is one canvas component, the eyes are another, the mouth is another. Here, let me uncomment that code. so I can explain this with less distraction. Okay. So the mouth is one component, the eyes is another component, and all these little dots and the selection box, those are 8 more components. Now these pink things, the selection box and the how many is it? It's 8. Okay, the 8 resizing boxes that go on top of it, they're what I call UI components. They've got a flag that designates them as part of UI rather than the thing that's being edited. And I had created one selection box that would be used for all the components. And then I said that whenever you move like a component, whenever you drag it, it'll automatically update the selection box to highlight this. But I thought about it a little bit more. There's some different problems coming up with this architecture. One is that sometimes, and it's kind of hard for me to show it, but sometimes the drawing order of this will put the selection box underneath another component, and it just does not look right. Another thing is I have to continuously move these around to match changes in things. And there's already like a parent-child relationship to all these components. So what I should be able to do is when you select the eyes or the mouth or the head, just show selection UI that's parented off of that component, as opposed to something that's parented off the root. And then whenever I do a movement, because it's a child component, it'll just move with it like it does now. When I do a resize, that child-parent relationship that I just mentioned doesn't really help the resizing, but if I could have some assumptions built in that whatever the UI is that's hovering around a part in a child relationship also has certain built-in implied behavior, reusable behavior, then I could do things like have higher level events, like resize event, as opposed to a drag event on this box, which some other calling code interprets as this will resize this and does all the different updates to it. So basically, if I arrange the child-parent relationships on these things differently, I can have a piece of code that doesn't know everything about face authoring. It's not like this screen, which does know everything about face authoring. It only has to know about certain operations that are permitted on certain parts, display the corresponding UI for that, and inform the screen, the thing that does know about face authoring, whenever one of those operations has been performed. So it'll inform the screen instead of like mouse up, mouse down, drag, start, stop. It'll inform the screen with events like component resized, or component moved, or component received focus. And then all the other stuff about updating the width and height, when you drag these things, that can all be handled by this what do we call it? Canvas controller, something like that. So it's basically defining a separation of concerns that allows two pieces of code to know much less about each other. The code that's in the screen that controls everything that happens in this screen, and then the code that's more directly responsible for handling user interaction with the face. So I want to really have that separation. I've only got an hour and a half left to work on this, and I like to choose tasks I can fit into the session and not leave spread out over multiple sessions. So for this session, I'm just going to tackle hiding and showing elements, and if along the way I identify some other things to do, I may do them, but I think I'm just going to do hiding and showing elements, because I need hiding and showing so that I can have a separate set of child elements for UI on each part. And then I'll just show whichever one is applicable. But let me start with that, and then I'll see if I have extra time to work on other things. Also, I think I'm just going to delete all this. Here's all my comments that are just basically notes for the some of the points I just made. And I'll just move this off to my Scratch doc just to keep things clean. The irony of it is I'm looking at my number one solution here, and I'm actually, for all that thought I put into it, I'll be doing a number two solution, which is what I just discussed. And every once in a while I'm looking at my work laptop for the day job. So I got embroiled in a conversation with some mistakes. I just want to make sure. Okay, it seems to be moving along pleasantly. I don't have to go back to my day job. Good. It's so hard to carve just a tiny bit of time to work on this stuff. Let's go to SL Web Face, and then Canvas component. I would like for it to have a is visible property that's gettable and settable. I'm slowly recreating the Unity game object inside of my project. Actually, this might be a really simple change now that I'm looking at it. This is visible equals true. Okay, so get is visible. So render, if not, this is loaded, return. I can also say if not, this is visible, or not, this is loaded. Just return there. Okay. Same deal here. Okay. Render component with children. Yeah. Not too hard. I was thinking too, this is bugging me. I'm using this find absolute chords. And in some cases, I only need X or Y, not X and Y. So I thought I will, while I'm here, I'll just make a more optimized version. Find absolute X. A little more performant, perhaps. Mateo! What's going on, fella? Mi amigo? Things are pretty good for me. I wish I had more time to work on my stuff here. That's the only thing. But pretty soon I get to go on a week-long break for holidays. And then I get more time to write code. You know, every vacation that I take, I always bring my laptop with me because my favorite thing to do is just to work on my stuff. My wife will be by the pool and I'll be inside typing away. Yeah, you bet. I'll show you in a second. Okay. See if I broke anything. All right, let's go over here. Do a refresh so I get the nice font. And then, all right, here's the face loading in. And, you know, it's got its animation and all that. But now I've recently made it so you can drag the positions of things around and create a different look. And then I put in undo and redo. Yeah, I don't know, over on this side, I don't know if I've ever showed you this. On the speech side, you can bring in a WAV file. Any WAV file. Any WAV file that's got speech in it. Let's see. Alright, and then it analyzes it and it calculates all the lip animations. And I click on this.
Not here for arguments.
And this was just automatically calculated, all the animations. Yeah, exactly. So on the God Killer, that game I was working on, I did all this manually, figuring out all the lip animations. Now it's just going to be automatic.
Not here for arguments.
The way it works is it takes the speech audio, it uses speech recognition to find the locations of words, not here for arguments. And then each of those words, I look up the phonemes that produce that word, and I put them in, and I've got like an algorithm to figure out the right spacing. and then each one of these phonemes in t, h, I, f, they correspond to animation frames below. And so it's just automatic now.
Not here for arguments.
And this guy here, I'm going to try to make this stuff work a little bit better with the resizing, because I can make the sizes be, I want to make them so I can resize by dragging on these boxes here. So that's what I'm working on. Let's see. So I just added some stuff to show and hide. Let's see if it works. Let's build all this. Okay, go back to the web app. Let's see, face builder screen. I think I'll make the head not visible. Let's see, in it. Let's see, that'll be inside of the interactions module. Okay, so if I say head visible equals false, come back over to here. Oh, come on. I just added it. I just built it. All right, let me run this. Okay. So you're saying it's not there. Canvas component. SO web face. Canvas component. I just added. Oh, is visible, not visible. That's why. It does make me wonder, do I really want to have that is in front of it? Yeah, I do. Let's do is. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that'll be fine. There we go. All right, so that hides the head correctly. Question is, do I want all the children to also be hidden as a result? I think that is the behavior that would be best. Yeah, I think I almost always want that to be the case. So with that in mind, let's come back to SO web face and change the code a little bit. That stays the same. Up here we just say same thing. here. Just return early if the component is not loaded. Whoops. Ooh. I gotta go back down to the bottom. I think there's some mistakes there. Okay, if the component is not loaded or visible, return. Yeah, got. Yeah, that won't work. Let's do visible. Okay, like that. Bam. 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 Okay. Now, oh, I gotta rebuild. As it should be. Okay. That got done really fast. Try turning off the selection box. Yep, that works too. Okay, so I finished the thing I gave myself as a session goal too quickly. And now I need to pick an additional stretch goal for the session. So I'm thinking about that a little bit. I can't do the whole thing I want to do. I got to bite off a appropriately sized chunk of food here to chew. I could add a method that hides UI components. Could add a method that adds this box to components. Maybe I'll do a little bit of design work. That might be the best thing to do. Let's go to my Scratch. Okay, so what are these things going to be called? There's going to be maybe selection box util is a place to start. Add selection box to component or selection UI. Then there'll be the component that gets added to. There would be is movable, is resizable. So there has to be something else that responds to the mouse up mouse move and mouse down events on the canvas component like canvas drag handler does. But instead of sending drag events back to the caller, we'd send events like this. What about part UI manager? Okay, and then just copy methods over from canvas drag handler. And I kind of like that method I had above, add part UI. Okay, show part UI component. No, I don't need to do that. That can be internal. I think it really is just setting up these handlers. Constructor. On part focused. On part moved. On part resized. Okay. So there's going to be on mouse up, mouse down. So I can put this together like the shell of it, and not have everything implemented, but maybe work exactly as it does now, and have it call maybe not all of these events, like not on part resized, but on part focused and on part moved. I could probably implement if I just bust a little ass and get this done in an hour. I think I'm gonna go for it. It's gonna be tough, but maybe I'll get it done in an hour. Okay, so UE, where is canvas drag handler? Okay, it's right there. So maybe let's just take everything here, leave canvas drag handler as it is now, and just create a new class. Part UI manager. Okay, paste, giant paste. This is probably still true. Okay, the callbacks I want to call back are not these, but something else. They are, where's my scratch? I've got too many files open, losing track. On part focused, on part moved, on part resized, okay. fact, I'll just delete these. I'm just going to undo my deletion because the syntax is actually helpful. Okay, I'm part focused. Boolean. Do I want to have a Boolean? Because the Boolean would be a way for the callback to signal, is this thing draggable or not? And I don't really want the callback to determine that anymore, actually. Okay, this is going to be part moved callback. The other thing I like about encapsulating all this dragging stuff in here is there's a lot of ephemeral state that I really don't care about, but should be used to animate things. Like when you pull on one of the resizing buttons, like there should be continuous updates as you drag it around, but I don't want to pass that all the way up to the screen, the process. I just want to communicate up to the screen the result of the operation, the result of the user interaction, and hide all the rest of the stuff. Okay. Okay. So here that we no longer initialize draggable components in the same way. So we'll just start out by saying it's all nothing. Okay. This set these to So on mouse down. Let's change this to tracked components, maybe. I'm gonna leave it alone for the moment. So let's change this to so this one I say this. Oh, I do like having a boolean on the move operation and the resize operation, because those things should be cancelable. If you drag something outside the bounds, for example, or onto an area where it would be breaking something. On, part moved, okay. Okay, now I need to add this other thing. Add part UI. Okay. So you could say it's just going to have that. There's probably better ways to do that. But I'm seeing if I can just get to a kind of feature parity on this. So if I come back to my screen, my face builder screen. That's not where to change it. I'm gonna come over here. Canvas drag handler. We'll change this to part UI manager. part focused. Let's define those up here. On part focused. Component. Or I'll just say part. Just tucking these in up above so the bottom part becomes more readable. And the last one, function on part resize, will be a do nothing stub. So I'm not ready to write that functionality, but I do need to pass a callback that matches the expected signature. And you can do nothing. Just to keep the linter compiler from complaining about unused variables, I'll underscore prefix. Okay, then over here, it's just much neater. On part focused, on part moved, on part resized. Boolean, huh? Okay. I should do it. The draggable components need to be added. For each part. Okay, we say part UI manager. Add part. I should just say part. Add part. I like that much better. Okay, it's going to be true and false. That's looking pretty good. Let's get rid of this have mouth thing. It's a little bit junky. Okay, so that was a bunch of changes. They should be pretty much equivalent. A good chance I introduced a bug though. Let's check for aggression. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Eyes. Can I click on other things? Yes. Yes. Can I drag? Yes. Works as before. I didn't add the head. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. 40 minutes on the clock. It's like playing blackjack, and I've got like a weak hand. Like a 15 or something like that. Or a 16. What can I choose as my next task that will be completable in 40 minutes? I think I should make it so that the UI for this is attached to each part, and the add part will add that to it. And then I can take all the selection box stuff out of this Face Builder Screen Interactions module, which is it close to 200? Yeah, it's past 200. Oh, it's edging towards 300 lines. So it would be nice to get all that selection box stuff out. So let me think about that. I can delete this canvas drag handler. It's no longer doing anything. Edit. Delete. Delete one file. Okay. Come back to Part UI Manager. I think I will need some kind of array of tracked elements, tracked components or parts. I mean. Okay. Let's see. Type tracked part equals component is movable. Okay, like that. Let's see, component. Okay. Find component at chords. Let's say find part at chords. So the distinction I'm making is a part is a specific kind of component. Itself, it may contain multiple components that are children of it. this will end up getting trickier. Okay, if the part is visible, I don't want it to be clickable. I mean, the opposite of that. I want it to be clickable, selectable, if it's visible. So let's say if not part is component is visible, then continue. Let's call this selected part. Or to keep consistent, focused part. And focus part should be, okay, it's a tracked part, cool. Okay. Okay, focus part, component. I have to do it a bunch, so might as well. Destructure. Weird. How did this ever work? Maybe I did so many replacements that it's that I deleted something along the way. Let me do a git diff, check out the old version of that line. Git status. Git status. Git diff. Just look at the old code in the old file that I just deleted. Dang it. I can do undo and see if I can just see what this used to be before I changed it, but it might be a lot of undos. Drag start X, drag start Y. Okay. Yeah, some bad replacement there. Go forward again. Okay, cool. So this is hate when I'm completing one set of changes and I can already feel like a second set of changes forming in my head that would apply to the first set of changes I'm midway through. When that happens, I try to just remember what that next set of changes is and put it out of my head. Sometimes it makes me start over from the beginning, which is a little bit demoralizing. Okay, can I do something with is movable to prevent moving if the part is not movable? I can. What am I really saying when I add a part? No, I think this is pretty good. Let's see if I regressed. Everything should work exactly as it did. Yeah, looks fine. Okay, that was just mainly just changing names of things. Adding a little bit of tracking. Okay, the next thing is add this UI. Guy's blinking a lot because of React reload, so that's starting to bother me. So let's just do a refresh. Okay, now it's more peaceful. Okay, so this UI, I want to be part of each tracked part, and I want it to show or hide based on the focus. That's the thing I'll try to get done before I end the session. Next 25 minutes. Okay, so so the code for this is going to be in that selection box canvas component, and I've got the whole thing kind of right here. Okay, so I've got two methods. The load method, Yeah, okay. That should be pretty good. So then come back over to my part UI manager. I'll import this load selection box. Yeah. Oh, I don't need the component. Okay. Then we just reparent the selection box to the part component. Now it occurs to me that I can keep these neatly together and save myself a lot of work. Okay. So in that case, we'll return a promise. No, don't have to return a promise. Just take the part and set its selection box to equal the selection box. And in fact, let's just do it up above. Okay, show part UI. It's barely worth writing the function for. Okay, so I won't be able to immediately add the part UI. I think actually I had it right the first time. Let's do const. Let's say load part UI, and then canvas component. Okay. That returns the selection box. Then I come down to here, and make this an async. And I say const. Say okay. This is going to be part and is resizable. Yeah, this here I might call component. What? What? Oh, right. Need to pass it. Oh, crap. Okay, let's just don't pass it the whole part. Let's pass it just the component and then the flags it needs. And all that. Okay. What else? What else? Let's say on mouse down. If this focus part, hide part UI, this focus part. Then we say show part UI, this focus part. Mouse up, doesn't change the focus, so nothing to do there. On mouse move, that's fine. I think I will probably get to get rid of some other code, but let's start by having too much code. Wow. Load selection box. Okay, that's in Face Builder screen interactions. Well, it's not showing the extra selector box. There should be, this is the old selector box. I don't see the new one. I think just to make sure that they're not drawing on top of each other, I should get rid of the old. So let's do that. Easy way to do it. Easy way to do it. Just delete all the stuff that's related to it. the definitions, and then all this red marks up here are like a to-do list for me to go and take a look at. I think just get rid of all this. But who's calling it? Okay, let me think. So we get the selected part type. Oh, right. I'm just going to delete this. I'll add in the appropriate functionality. This callback. I'm just going to delete it. I can get it back. Well, hold on. Is somebody calling it? Yeah, somebody is going to be calling it. So this is going to be on part moved. This I could probably get rid of. No, don't do that yet. But we could do find part components. Okay, on part type change. Actually, I could do to do select part with part UI manager. Okay. This will become on part focus. Don't need to have that code there because that's now handled by the part UI manager. This is on part focus. Should be focused, I guess. Like that. Okay. Should be on part moved. Okay. Don't need this anymore. Find. Cool. cards left. Oh, get selected part type. No longer being called. I feel like these might be called. Find canvas component for part type. It might get called. I kind of don't want to delete them yet. Why do you need the selection box? I don't think you do. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything drawing at all. So let's hit some breakpoints and step through it. Let's look at load part UI. Let's look at these guys. But more specifically, let's go look at where it should call it. Here. Okay, I'll do a reload. Okay, it's going to load this guy here. I'll step into it and see what's up. Okay, is this anything? Selection box. Width and height are null. Okay. So that kind of looks like I need to wait for the parent component to finish loading. So I'm going to guess that this component here is not loaded yet. Oh, you are loaded. Well, where is your width? Okay. Okay, that's fine. But selection box, it didn't get a width and height. Oh, I think I know why. Okay, let's just do the next one. Okay, so you are getting past width and height. Yes, you are. Yes. and the init data is getting set. A wait should happen here, which should set width and height in the selection box component. Okay, so width and height are set. Init data has got that same width and height in it. Going to go into the loader, passing the init data. I think the issue is that the width and height are being set after the load comes back, but the earlier thread hasn't received them yet. So I can see the code right here that after the asynchronous onload is called and comes back, that we're going to get width and height set. But my other thread, which I'll return to in a moment just by stepping through, you went all the way back down to there. That's fine, I get it. Yeah, you just don't have the width and height that you need here. Okay, but this can be fixed. So go back to selection box canvas component. And here, is it there? No, create resizing button. It doesn't quite make sense though, because there's no weight on this, so it should have come down here. Oh, I bet I know what it is. Okay, I think the weight comes here, is resizable comes here. God. I don't know. I gotta try it again. Kind of lost the thread. I can tell it's the width and height though. Dang it, 602, that's terrible. I'm running out of time. I've run out of time. I'm gonna have to come back to this. I'll need to come back to this. Hate it. I hate leaving a task midway complete. God, I can't stand it. Alright. Maybe I'll sneak back here after dinner. It's gonna be time to stop the stream, get friggin' dinner taken care of in my stomach, and then maybe later sneak back dead of night, fix that bug so I can get a decent night's sleep. Alright, stopping the stream.